Welcome to the Richard Lloyd USA YouTube channel. I'm Richard Lloyd. Today I'm going to be doing a video on recovering or rescuing a TP-Link WR940N. It's also, I believe, the same as a 941N, just a different chassis. And the 41 has detachable antennas where this one does not. But regardless, I'm going to be showing you how to recover this from, let's say, a boot loop or a bad flash where it's no longer functioning anymore. You can't get into it anymore, or it's in a cycle where it just keeps rebooting. Or you've put some third-party firmware into the router and you want to go back to the stock firmware. We'll show the procedure is the same for both of those occurrences. So actually, yes. Both of those occurrences. Also, this is going to be kind of a two-parter as well, because there's another problem that this router has that's fixed by this same procedure. It's called the error 18005. Let me take a look at that and make sure. Yeah, 18005. And that happens when you're trying to use the current stock firmware to upgrade to DD-WRT or any other third-party firmware. They've locked those firmwares from allowing you to do that. And basically, the newest firmware from TP-Link will only allow you to put the current three US versions on the router. Anything else will be locked out, and it'll give you this error. But this procedure I'm showing you on how to recover the router also can also be used to fix this error, and I will show you that as well. So let's go get some software so we can do this. So I'll go hook myself up to the internet here, and there we go. We're connected. I'm going to open a window here, a browser. First thing we're going to do is go get the TP-Link firmware for this router. So just type in WR940N firmware in your browser bar or in a Google search. Just do that. And then you'll get TP-Link's website with WR940N. This is a version 6. Mine's a version 3. Make sure you choose the correct version for your firmware or for your router, because if you don't, there's a possibility you may make it even worse. But luckily, this video will show you how to fix it. So just choose the right version. In my case, it's a version 3. So then we're going to go to firmware here, and then scroll down, and you'll see there's 3. I would say if you're just going to restore the stock firmware and not do anything else like put third-party firmware in it, then we'll just go with the latest firmware right here. This is so we're just going to click on download on that, and latest firmware is this crazy number right here. I'm going to create a folder in my download directory, and I'm going to call it WR940N, and mine's a V3, so we'll just use V3, and we're going to put everything in there. And like I said, be patient, you people who want the 18005 error fixed. I'll show you how to do that in this video as well. But currently, we're just returning this router back to the stock latest firmware from TP-Link. Hit save on that, and you saw that was a zip file. So I hit OK here, and we have to unzip it, but that's no big deal. Now we're going to go get the utility that we need to make this happen, and it's called TFTPD 64. So just do a search for that in Google, TFTPD 64. Click enter, and you'll see the first one is GitHub. That's what we're going to. And here we're going to go to the download page. Scroll down a little bit, and we're going to get the TFTPD 32 installer version 4.74 EXE. That's the program we need. So we'll just click on that. And then we're going to download it into that same directory where I put the firmware in my downloads directory. There we go. We have that. Go to the download directory. Okay. And so downloads WR, that same directory. Now we're going to install that TFTPD program. So double click it. And you'll get this Windows protected your PC, because this is a powerful program, and Windows doesn't want you to put it on. So here we're going to go more, and by the way, you can uninstall it afterwards as well. More info, And you can see that at that point you get the option to run it anyway. So we're going to run it anyway. And we're going to click yes. Next. And here you can see destination folder, and it goes with this destination folder here, TFTPD. We're going to change that. We're going to browse. And we're going to go to downloads. And we're going to put it in the same directory right there, WR940N V3 that we created in the download directory, okay? That way that becomes the root folder, and that's where this program looks for files that it's serving out. So trust me on this, just follow that, put it in where you put it, where you put your firmware, okay? Hit OK. And then click next. And definitely make sure that these two things are checked. If you don't want a desktop shortcut, then uncheck that. That's fine. But the allow TFTPD 32 through the Windows firewall definitely should be there. Okay, so I go with both of them, and if you uninstall it, they both disappear anyway. So click install. There we go, and then click finish. All right. So now we've got the TFTPD program. Minimize this, and it's right here on my desktop. I'm going to put it up here. I like it up here. There it is. Next thing we're going to do is physically connect the router to your PC, and it's going to be your router needs to be isolated basically between the router and your PC are the only network connections you should have. You shouldn't have any other ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn off my Wi-Fi. There we go. I'll show you how to connect this all. So we're gonna have you're gonna use an Ethernet cable between your router and your computer. You're gonna plug it into any of the orange ports. It doesn't matter which one. We're not using the internet port. And notice the reset button is the black button next to the power button. Okay. Important, because we're going to be using the reset button as part of the process of returning this back to stock. And they put these really close, so you basically, for me, I have to use 2 fingers to do it. So connect it to the back of the router like I show here. Connect it back to your PC, like into an RJ45 port or Ethernet port. If you don't have one of those, you can get an Ethernet adapter that's USB-A. This was USB, it's a combo, USB-A or USB-C if you take it apart. Gigabit adapter, and it'll plug into any appropriate PC with a USB-C or USB-A port, and then you'll have an Ethernet adapter, gigabit, that works. It's a really handy thing to have. And a really nice thing, actually, you'd be surprised how handy these come if you don't have an Ethernet port on your laptop, PC, or whatever you have. They also come in dedicated A plugs and dedicated C plugs. I'll put those in the video description below, and you can go get them there. All right, so we've got this connected physically, so I got to do the same thing here. Let me do that. There we go. And you can see at the bottom right here that my network icon is starting to flash. So it's connecting to the router. All right, so that's the physical connection. We'll just close this off. You should have that connected now. So at this point, we've got that set up. The next thing we need to do is configure the network interface so that it can talk to the TFTPD server. So what we're going to do is go over here to search and view internet network connections. You probably won't have it there. So just doing the search, view network connections, and of course mine's already there because I go there all the time, and just click on it to open. And there you have all your Ethernet adapters settings. Now here I'm just going to hit on right click it, and you can see there's only one thing connected. That's the router to the Ethernet port. Right click it, choose properties. I probably still have it set. Yeah, I do. Okay. When you do that, and you come into okay, let's start over. Okay, right click it, choose properties, then go to Internet Protocol version 4, TCP/IP v4, this one, and for some reason it didn't take that setting. I hit OK. All right, so once again, when you open this after you right-click and choose Properties, you should see this, okay? And what we're going to do here is we're going to specify an IP address that has to be here. So it's going to be 192.168.0.66. Now, just click on the subnet mask box down here and it should automatically populate. Now, your router may or may not use this number. I've seen the other routers that instead of using 0, use 1. So try both, but for the default setting, this is the number it should be. And if it doesn't work, try 1, okay? And try the procedure again. If that doesn't work, then maybe your firewall is on, your antivirus has firewall, Windows has firewall, and it may be not allowing you to do it. Just try it on a different computer and just go through the whole process on a different computer and see if it works there. But this should work. So here we're going to hit OK. So again, 192.168.0.66. All this down here is the same. Hit OK, OK. All right. So now your computer is on the right IP address, and that sets the IP address for the TFTPD server. So just going to minimize this. At this point, we're going to open up TFTPD, and I'm going to stretch it out a bit. Let's go. There we go. And put it here. All right. So we need to know what the router is, what the file name the router is asking for is. So we're going to basically get it to do that by powering it off. Okay. I'm going to power it off. And this is hard to do. Power it off and power it on while holding the reset button. Okay, so I'm holding the reset button. Hold the reset button down first and then power it on. There we go. And once you see that lock, right, just let it go. And then go over here to Log Viewer. And you can see that it's asking the TFTPD program for a file, right? But the program, like I said, so make that happen, turn off the router, and what we're going to do here, hit the copy button, go to Notepad, there you go, open it up, and we're going to right click on it and just hit paste. There we go. And you got all this, all this text, but really all you're looking for is here. It's saying, read request, and it's asking for this file, WR940N V3 recovery VIN. Like I said, the 941 and the 940 are the same router, so obviously they, well, I don't know if it's obvious, but you can see here that it's asking for the same file, but it doesn't matter. Just highlight that file name, copy it, then go back to your file browser, and now we go to the TFTPD site, the downloads WR940 V3 folder, and what we're going to do here is right-click the zip file, and we're going to click or choose Extract All. Hit Extract. Now we have a folder with this file in it. Now, next thing to do is double-click the folder that we just created, and in here we're going to rename this. So right-click it, and then just select all of it. Control A will select all. Right-click it and choose Paste, right? And then just click anywhere, and now it's renamed. Now we have a firmware file that's called the same thing as what the router is looking for in the rescue mode, okay? So we're going to copy this, and then we're going to go up a folder. We're going to drop it in the TFTPD 32 folder right here, okay? So just hit paste here, and there we go. All right. Now we do that because that's the folder that TFTPD goes looking for the file in. Now it was looking for it, but it wasn't there. Now it is there, okay? So that's why we do that procedure first. We need to figure out what this file is. Now this procedure may work, probably, I know it works on my WR840 N router, no problem, and it works on other TP-Link routers. So if you can figure out how to navigate this on other routers, this procedure should work for you. Okay, so we've got that in the TFTPD folder. Just to minimize this stuff out. And at this point, we're going to power up that router again, doing the same procedure with the reset button. Hold it down until you see the lock light, and the lock light will be this one up here. It'll go solid. Once that happens, then it should, take the file from the TFTPD server. So hold down the reset. There we go. Oh man, that's tricky. Okay, let me try that again. Yeah, it's tough. I'm going to use 2 fingers here. All right. Maybe it's just angle. Yeah, my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let it go once you see the lock. And you can see it just downloaded the file into the router. Now the router is going to go through a sequence of lights. You'll see it here. I'll leave it up here for now, but basically it's at this point going to reboot and install that file. It's probably currently installing it. All right, so let it go through that process. See, there we go. The Christmas tree, as we call it. And by the way, that's a what do you call it? Drag racing reference. Christmas tree lights. All right, we're waiting, and when you see the Wi-Fi light turn on, you'll know that's when the router is completely booted up. I'm doing this real time, of course. Doesn't take very long. These routers are pretty light on the firmware. I have routers that take like 2 minutes to boot because the firmware is so huge. There we go. Okay, so the Wi-Fi light is on. Now we're going to go back to our browser and open up another tab here, and we're going to put in 192.168.0.1 and hit enter. And there we go. There's your TP-Link firmware. Now, default password and username, username and password is admin, all lowercase, and admin, all lowercase again. Make sure you change that if you're going to be using this firmware. And then we're going to go here to System Tools and Firmware Upgrade. And then you can see we've got the latest firmware. Router is running perfectly, right? Now, if we go and try and upgrade this to, actually, at this point, you've recovered your router if you want to use the stock firmware, and that's it. It's done. It's finished. So go on with your day or do whatever you want with this router. Configure it any way you want. It's ready to go on the internet. And I'm not going to go through that with this router at this point. I know it's running. Status here, you can see that it's on, right? WAN port is unplugged because I don't have it hooked up, but that's okay. And it has IPv6 support, which is what the latest firmware from TP-Link gives you. And that's what you want. There you go. Now, for all of you who are basically waiting to figure out how to get past the 18005 error, which you will get here. I'll show you it here because it's important. Let's go to downloads, and then I'm going to go third-party firmware, and I'm going to try and put DD-WRT in here. Come on, there we go. And you'll see what happens. Okay, let's try and upgrade it. No. So the latest 3 firmwares, and the only 3 firmwares that are listed on TP-Link's US website, they're locked firmware. They won't even let you put older TP-Link firmware in there. Like if you try to use a 206, which is what we're going to do here in a minute, it won't let you do it. And I'll show you what I mean. Well, actually, it's an older version, but take my word for it. If you have this router, you know it can't do it. So here we're just going to go back. And what we're going to do next is go get the firmware that we can use TFTPD to downgrade it to a point where you can put third-party firmware on this fine router. All right, so let's go here, new tab. Now, what we're looking for, and I'll put it here in my notepad, and I'll also put it in the video description, is a specific zip file. All right, so we've got that one there. Let's go back to downloads. All right, I don't have it in here yet, but I will in a minute. What we're looking for, and I'll go to third-party firmware, where I put the specific zip file. And we're looking for the 206, this one here, this zip file. So I'm just going to right-click it and just rename it, I guess. Rename it and select, basically I need to select all the script that defines the file and hit copy. Now, again, I'll put this in my notepad so that you don't have to, copy it from, what do you call it? The screen, or actually in the description, sorry, the video description, so that you can just copy it and paste it from there. So copy and paste it from there. There it is. All right, just copy it. And then we're going to go back to the internet here, and we're going to do a Google search for that file. Don't put it up here because it'll confuse the browser. Put it here in Google search, or just go to www.google.com. Hit paste. Yeah, so it puts it up there anyway. Let's see see? Okay, so, sorry, I'm off the internet. Let's get back on the net. My apologies there. Like I said, a lot of moving parts here, so bear with me. Okay, so now I'm connected. Okay, click try again. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Let's see server not found. So I'm just going to do what I told you to do, which is www.google.com. There we go. Paste it in here. Enter. There we go. And you can see that there are several places that have it. Now, we can currently trust TP-Link for this file, and you can see that, yeah, okay. See this one down here, this search says it's missing the WR, right? So we don't want that one. It's still available, this file is still available from TP-Link at Sri Lanka website. So click on that, hit the X on this, and then go to firmware. Now I'm on a version 3, right? So you choose what you need and scroll down, and you'll see 2 files. Actually, both of them are good. You can download them both if you wish. I will. But I'm going to use the oldest one for compatibility's sake and the most likely to work sake, okay? So here we're going to click on download. And I'm only going to do the 206. You can download the other one if you wish. Keep this short and brief. And we're going to put it into, yeah, exactly that. The WR84, and basically the folder we just made I made in my download directory. Hit save. And again, it's a zip file. We'll go back to that file and in downloads. There we are. Now you can see that I have a new zip file here. We're going to extract it. So we're just going to hit extract all. Go with the defaults. Opens up a new folder. And you can see here, now we have a TP-Link WR blah, 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 206 folder, right? So what we're going to do is exactly the same thing we did with this folder or this file. We already know what the name's supposed to be, so just go to that folder where we've already renamed it. Click on rename, select it all, just highlight it all, copy it, and just leave it there. Go back, and then again we're going to put, we're going to go here to the 206 folder, then once again a little deeper, right? And we're going to rename that one. Again, Control A, right click it, paste if you wish. You could do the Control V too. That's it. Now it's been basically renamed. Now we're going to copy it and go back to our WR version 3, TFTPD 32 folder, and we're going to paste it in here. So right click, paste, and it says replace the file or skip it. Of course, we're going to replace it because that's the newest one from the US site that's in there right now. So we're going to replace the file in the destination. That's done. Now at this point, we just go back to TFTPD 32, and as you can see, it's all here. We'll just clear this off. And we're going to just do that rescue procedure once again. So again, power down the router. See if I can do it this time. Let's see, it's just angle, I think, more than anything else. Power it back up. Hold down the reset. There we go. Lock button is on. And ta-da. Now it's doing it twice, 3 times. Okay, well, that's not going to work. Let's click that off. Again, that's because I was doing that with my fingers. So I'm going to do that again with 2 fingers. So basically, it's so crazy. All right, so hold down the reset, power on the router. There we go. Lock came up, let go of the reset button. There, that's right. There we go. It's always nice to see a little error here and there because, hey, then you know how to fix it. So, all right, so that router is now going to reboot, and it's going to have that 206 version file in it, which we downloaded, which is unlocked. Okay, the 3 that are in the U.S. Site are locked. The 2 that are in the Sri Lanka website are unlocked, and they're in English too, so don't worry about language or anything like that. So again, you do that search. Let's go back here. Oops, forward one more. Do the search for that zip file in Google. Open up a Google page and put that in, and you will get the Sri Lanka website. Off you go. Now there's other places to download it. I don't know if they're any good. I don't really think that you should trust anything but TP-Link's website. Here's one. Let's see if it has it. This one's, that looks like Spanish. Let's go look. Yeah, so you can click the translate, go to firmware. Yeah, it's there too. So that works in the, which website are we at? Which, Latin America, right? So again, just do the search and go get it, right? At this point, the router's booted up. Let's go to it. Right here. It's just probably going to need to log into it again. Let's find out. Yeah. Oops. No. I'm still on my network. So again, we're going to uncheck the network. So we're just connected straight to the router. There we go. That should fix it. Let's see what happens. There it is. Admin. And we log in. You're going to exit if you wish. And you can see here that we have the 150.206 version of the firmware. You go to here to System Tools, go to Firmware Upgrade, choose the file, browse. We're going to do the DD-WRT third-party firmware that we couldn't get in last time. Click on Upgrade, OK. And you can see it's taken the firmware. So OpenWRT, DD-WRT, Tomato, whatever you're using, right? If you use the 206 bin file first, or as I showed in this video, I just showed you, then you'll get rid of that 18005 error that you're having, and it will boot off okay, right? Well, it will install the third-party firmware just fine. So yeah, I always recommend to use the latest firmware, stock firmware file available if you're not going to be using third-party firmware, because it's the most patched up version, the most secure version. So there we go. It's basically at this point rebooting, and that's it. So that's how you rescue or recover or downgrade the firmware on a WR940N. This time, this one's a version 3, but it should work on other versions. And basically fix the 18005 error if you're having it, or just put the stock firmware into the router and make it work again. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot. There's a little bit of housekeeping we need to do. Let's go back to the network icon here. We need to change this back to the default settings. So right-click the Ethernet, choose Properties, and then TCP/IP. Change this radio button to Obtain IP address automatically, Obtain DNS server address automatically. Hit OK. There we go. And OK one more time. That's it. And at this point, you can upgrade to DD-WRT or anything else, that you want from that, what do you call it? From that flash of 206. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time here. There we go. Now, that should be it for my video. So this, in this video now you can flash it back to the newest version of the stock firmware if that's what you're going to do. Highly suggest you do the latest version from the US site as that's the most secure. Other than that, if you're going to go to third-party firmware, then it doesn't matter because that stock firmware is only going to be on there for minutes. So go with the 206 from Sri Lanka or wherever you find it on the net. And then with that firmware, you can install, OpenWRT or DD-WRT, Tomato, and the dozens more that are available because it's not locked and it will allow you to do it. So I've seen this on a lot of the new firmware on routers, not just TP-Link, where they lock it to their own firmware and nobody else. They don't want third-party firmware, from what I can tell. I mean, that's my guess. So, and it's just speculation, but that's what it seems like here. So let's close this off. All right, let's go back to that router, 192.168.0.1. Yep, there it is. Admin. Back to, I guess we'll go exit here. Yep, 206. We'll go here to System Tools. And now that we've got the IP address and everything set right, we should be able to just do a firmware upgrade. And I'll choose one of my third-party firmwares, which are here. Let's go to factory that's it. And we should be not getting the 18005 error this time. Upgrade, yep, okay. And there you go. It's going right in, as I think it should. But like I said, TP-Link and other firmware, other router manufacturers are coming up with firmware that seems to block third-party firmware installations. I don't know why, but regardless, that's how you get around it on this. So at this point, when this is done flashing and rebooting, it should have DD-WRT on it. That's it for my video. If you like this video and it helped you out in some way, do me a huge favor. Give me a like. Hit the thumbs button down there. It just takes a second, and it helps me on YouTube, and it helps my channel grow because it helps me with the algorithm as well. So also, if you like my content, you want to see more of it, subscribe to my channel. As part of the process, hit the bell icon and choose notifications. And at that point, when you're subscribed and you choose the notification, every time I put up a new video, you'll be notified, and then you can watch it at your own leisure. So I really appreciate your subs. I really appreciate the likes. Also, comment section below, put anything you want to say to me in the comment section. And, questions, suggestions for videos, anything. If you want to communicate with me, put it in the comment section. I look at it daily and respond to it, more or less daily as well. I really enjoy the video suggestions as well. Questions are great because I get ideas from those as well. And again, in the video description, I will put links and, of course, that text file or that label for that zip file, this thing here, in there, so you can just copy and paste it and put it into a Google search and find that file if you need to get past the 18005 error. This seems to have been rebooted, so let's go check and see if DD-WRT is on there now. And it is. Look at that. So again, you can see that DD-WRT went into this. Let's just quickly put it in here. Admin. And I will be doing a video on how to do this particular third-party firmware coming up, probably the next one. So I'm going to hit the change here, and you can see here TP-Link TLWR. Again, 941ND. It's the same as the 940. So there it is, fully running on third-party firmware with the 206 stock firmware installed. Okay, that's it for my video. Again, just like always, take care of yourself. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.